It has been 31 days since Coleraine last played a Premiership fixture on home soil. And what a match to mark their return to the showgrounds as the league's last two unbeaten sides go toe-to-toe with the intention of laying down an early marker in this campaign in order to prove their title credentials. Glentoran start the night as table toppers. Will that still be the case at the end of the night? It's an exciting match in prospect. Plenty of exciting players on show. And both keepers could well be kept busy. This is one of two matches being played tonight. The other is at Shamrock Park as Portadown take on Bangor. And this is how the league table looks heading into the weekend. So tight at the top. Larne will be waiting to see if they can gain some ground when they play Carrick Rangers tomorrow. Linfield take on bottom of the table Glenavon in some of the matches that are happening, all available on Sports Sound on Radio Ulster and BBC Sounds. Now let's hear what the managers have had to say. They've been speaking to our man Damien Mullen.
This is probably as good a game as you're going to get. Two unbeaten teams, full house at the showgrounds, beautiful evening. How much are you looking forward to the game?
It's a brilliant game. I believe it's a sellout, exactly what we wanted. Two good teams, two brilliant sets of supporters as well, and hopefully a good one for the neutral.
In terms of team selection, two changes from your last game. Tell us your thinking behind the two changes this evening. A first start for Rowan McDonald.
Yeah, Rowan's had a load of games under his belt this year with Waterford. We signed him a few weeks ago, obviously close to the deadline, so the reason for that, we wanted to get patching slightly higher in this game. So Rowan comes in, he's an outstanding player. Hopefully you see that tonight. Cody comes back in the team. He's missed a couple of games, but we just, given the type of players in the opposition, we feel that he's a really good matchup, and again, hopefully we can see that coming off.
Just finally, you and Declan Devine go back a long way. You played for him when Derry City won a FAI Cup. Nice to be pitting your wits one another on the sideline this evening.
Aye, we've done it before when he was Bohemians manager, I was Derry manager. We played a few times against each other, so it's nothing new. I have a lot of time and respect for him and Paddy, and I know a lot of the players there, but this is about us trying to pick up 3 points regardless of who the manager is in the opposition dugout. We want to make this place really, really hard to come to and get anything, and hopefully we can produce that tonight.
Thank you, Rory.
Thanks, Damien.
Devine, your team selected. Two changes from last week. Just give us an idea of your thinking behind your selection this evening.
Oh, listen, I think last week when the two lads come on, Liam Burt and Jordan Stewart, they had a big impetus in the game, had a big effect on the game, and we're looking for the same tonight. A really strong squad coming here tonight, so as I say, the two boys don't need any introduction, two talented players, and I think the night that's on it hopefully they go improve the quality and the technical ability that they possess. Yeah,
it's a bold attacking lineup you've selected this evening as well, and important to go for the win and not just come and settle for a point.
No, I think we always set up at Glentoran Football Club. You're always expected to go and win a game, but we also have huge respect for our opponents tonight. I watched them at Portadown last week and they were superb. So we know that we all the attacking flair on the pitch tonight for both sides. For me, it'll be the team that defends the best and gives away the fewest chances that'll come away with the 3 points. But it's a game we want to embrace. It's a game we've been looking forward to all week, and as I say, it doesn't get much better. Beautiful pitch, lovely night for a game, live on the box. So it's something to be excited about.
Yeah, just finally, Rory Higgins in the opposite dugout this evening. A man, a player, a footballer you know very well, going back a long time.
Absolutely, I know Rory since he's about 8 or 9. That's giving away my age when I used to coach him then. But I also was fortunately won the FAI Cup with Rory in my starting line and my team. So real talented footballer, proving his worth as a manager, top man, great fella. But tonight it's about who comes out on top, and hopefully that'll be us.
Thanks, Declan.
Cheers.
And confirmation of those lineups, starting with the home team. Coleraine Lyons Foster back into the starting 11 after a substitute's appearance last weekend. Rowan McDonald with his first start in that three-man midfield alongside Boyle and Patching, and Matthew Shevlin 4 goals in his last 4 games across all competitions. While for Glentoran, an attacking looking team, Jordan Stewart and Liam Burt replacing Josh Kelly and Ryan Cooney, who are both among the substitutes. Pat Hubin is already showing his worth with 4 goals in his last 3. Christy Pattinson is back from suspension. He makes the bench for the first time this season. As you can see, our teams are out in front of us. The referee is getting us ready. Stephen Gregg going through his final checks. It's a gorgeous night for a big game, and I'm glad to say I'm not doing it alone. I am in the company of a Gibson Cup winner in Paul Lehman Leaper. Always a pleasure. This game has all the right ingredients. It should be a really entertaining one.
Yeah, let's hope so, Michael. You know, it's an intriguing game. The last 2 unbeaten sides in the league. Coleraine with 4 wins in a row. The Glens with 3 wins away from home and no goals conceded. So you'll think something has to give tonight. But, you know, hopefully we're in for an exciting game. We've got some real top quality attacking players on show here tonight. Will those attacking players come out on top, or will it be the defences on top?
Well, I know which one the neutral will prefer is Glentoran. Try and get an early sight on goal. They are in their change strips, as you can see, in the all black, as the Bandsiders, who have been very easy on the eye, are looking to advance with a fine searching pass for Joel Cooper. Glentoran need no introduction to him, the former Linfield man, finding the cross, and it's well defended by the Glen skipper Marcus Kane, and the home captain gets the cross in, gets his side an early corner, and that's a chance for Coleraine to send some of the big men forward from the back.
That's good play from Cooper, isn't it? It's a lovely ball just in behind Danny Amos there, and that's the areas that they'll be looking to get Cooper into, and those 1v1 situations where we know he can be so dangerous.
And the ball is going to be played in by Levi Ives. Amongst that line of players, of course, Lyons Foster, the former Glentoran defender. So coming up against former teammates there, they want to make sure he doesn't get any space in the penalty area. Again, well watched at the back. I think Jenkins maybe took a little knock there as he was helping with the defensive duties. And Jordan Stewart, we know he's fleet-footed, but despite his pace and keeping the ball in, not able to find anybody from his team. Fascinating to see the intent from the off from both teams as well, because they both started the season in such impressive fashion. They'll sense what this game could mean if they were able to claim a scalp.
Yeah, this game would send out a big message for whoever managed to get the win. And both teams have had tremendous starts. Both have got momentum. They're full of confidence. So it's a massive game early on in the season.
Glentoran finding Hubin, such a presence up front, and he's always got an eye for a forward ball. He was looking for Jenkins, and the two of them have found a really good balance, haven't they? They're starting to strike up a decent partnership.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Big 2 game last week working on it, and Pat Hubin was obviously player of the match, and you know, he showed a lot of quality on the night, and there was a lot of good link-up play between him and Jordan Jenkins. You know, Jordan Jenkins, there was a lot of pressure on him last season to score the goals for Glentoran. He had a fantastic season, but now he's got someone up there with him, and a great foil in Pat Hubin, someone who likes to link the play, come short, and Jordan Jenkins is that type of striker that likes to get in behind and run the channel. So it's a nice partnership.
Marcus Kane taking charge there and playing the ball off Matthew Shevlin as well. Declan Devine, masterminded, wins in his last 2 games against Coleraine, but they were not against Rory Higgins, as we've been hearing. A great friendship that's gone back a long way between the two, but it's all about who can come out on top here, as they've been saying. And as you've been watching, just with a little over 3 minutes played, each side trying to get forward. Sometimes these games can be a bit more tentative, but we've seen that they're getting plenty of encouragement from their managers.
They are, and both teams have went for really attacking lineups, and he's just in that last little, that was a chance there for Matthew Shevlin. I don't know if we're going to see a replay from it, but Will Patching, who's a player who I've really liked so far for Coleraine, just seen that little bit of quality, puts the ball through for Shevlin, and his touch just let him down. But Coleraine already showing, looking forward, looking for the Coopers and the Shevlins, and they're dangerous players in the attacking lineup.
And the offside flag is up, and that attack will stop. Coleraine were asking for play to be stopped because they have a man down in the middle, and they were wanting a bit of attention to that. I don't think there's anything serious there, however. And that's despite maybe one or two angry words being said there towards the referee, and you can see the position taken up by Declan Devine. He's leaving the shouting to others at the moment. No shortage of experience on either bench, it must be pointed out. Rory Higgins was Declan Devine's successor at Derry City too, amongst other things. Now they're title rivals in the Irish Premiership, and there's quite a few teams that can throw their name in the hat for that conversation in these early throes of the competition, but no shortage of excitement around this match and the build-up to it earlier in the week as well. You've got that sense, haven't you, coming into it? You look at the numbers in the showgrounds, and that very much backs it up.
Yeah, it's a fantastic crowd. A great night for a game of football. Fantastic surface. These are the big games that the players want to be involved in. The two managers know each other really, really well. But as we heard from Declan Devine there, the friendship was out the window tonight. It's all about getting that result, and which team will come out on top.
Mind you, in the Irish League, doesn't everybody know each other?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Good turn in midfield there, little nudge off the ball, nothing wrong with that, says Stephen Craig. Jenkins, however, didn't get the required purchase on his pass, and that will be a foul as Boyle was tripped, and he really has been impressing. He was very good last season, but I think he's even come on another level by the looks of his first few matches in this campaign.
Yeah, I think he's one of their most consistent performers last season, and as you say, with this new lineup and under Rory Higgins, he's gone to another level this season. He started the season off really, really well, and he's playing in that midfield area with the man we've already discussed, Will Patching, top quality player, and Rowan McDonald's come in tonight, who's someone with good pedigree as well. So these players can take their game to another level.
50th game tonight for Coleraine, for Dylan Boyle. It's come around quickly for him. He's been described as an old head on young shoulders.
He's very comfortable in possession of the ball. He's always looking to receive it, even in tight spaces, as we've just seen here now. Gets Coleraine on the front foot, gets him playing.
Levi Ives once more in a centre-back position. And I was at Shamrock Park last Saturday and watching just how often Jarvis got up and down that touchline, and Rory Higgins was saying after that is something he expects, and Dean Jarvis is someone that can give you that running. As Shevlin has a sider, and Mills is forced to sprawl.
It's a good effort from Shevlin, isn't it, in the edge of the box? Just Glentoran just allow him that too much space in the edge of the box. No one really comes out and closes him down. It's on his weaker left foot. That's a good save from the goalkeeper. It's going across the goalkeeper, and we know about Shevlin. You and I were talking about Matthew Shevlin's record against Glentoran. He's got a great record against them, and they don't want to be allowing him too much space, certainly early in this game. 14
career goals against the Glens, and they aren't the only team that have suffered against Matthew Shevlin. He's in there looking for his latest goal, and instead it's Lyons Foster, and would you credit that? Well, he celebrates in front of those who cheered for him last season when he made the team of the year, but it's his new teammates that hug him now, and it's Coleraine that strike first.
Yeah, listen, it's a super header from Cody Lyons Foster, but he had so much time and space at the back post. We're going to see the replay now. We look at it here. He just gets away from his marker. I'm not sure who's supposed to be picking him up there. He gets that yard or two of space, and it's a fantastic contact with the header. But from a defensive point of view, from Glentoran's point of view, it's a really soft goal to concede from a corner early on in this game, and it's a poor start for them, and it's a fantastic start from Coleraine, and they have looked the more likely early in this game of the couple of opportunities, and it's a great start for Coleraine and for that man.
Well, the last time these sides met at this ground, he scored, but it was for the other team. He's got his first for the Bandsiders, and they've got their first of the night.
Yeah, and you know, they're a team, you can see they're very high on confidence. But I think, you know, Glentoran will be so disappointed there defensively to give away a free header, you know, at the back post. And, you know, with credit to Cody Lance-Foster, he puts the ball away well.
Well, there's a long way to go in this game, and if we thought they were attacking beforehand, it should only open this match up further. Cooper sliding and doing ever so well to stop that one from going over the line. Coleraine, so menacing when they come forwards, and well, they've been hurting teams in recent games, scoring 4 goals against Crusaders, 4 goals against Portadown, just to show you how difficult they are to deal with.
Yeah, they've got great options in attack, as do Glentoran, but you know, they seem to be really firing on all cylinders the last few weeks. Coleraine and scoring in numbers and scoring goals from all areas. So, you know, if you manage to keep Joel Cooper quiet, you've got to think about Jamie Glackland as well, who both of those players like to sort of roam free and, you know, drop into little areas of space, and they can be so difficult to pick up at times.
And those young fans very much reveling in what they're seeing. Scoring against the Glentoran team, who coming into tonight had won all 3 of their away games in the Premiership without conceding a goal.
Yeah.
So that record was going to go at some point, and it's typically a former player that's done it.
Yeah, and I think defensively, I have to give Glentoran credit. Defensively, so far this season, they've been superb. Mills has been an able replacement for Daniel Jolai, and you know, Marcus Kane and Michael Lenny in the centre half positions have done really well. And you know, they just got to regroup. Now, it's a poor start for Glentoran. There's a long way to go in this game. They've got to regroup, got to find their way into this game, and you know, they've got a lot of quality on their side to certainly get something back.
Andrew Mills, a very experienced goalkeeper, 31 years of age as well, compared to the young man who has been doing ever so well so far for Coleraine, Aidan Harris, who's on loan from Newcastle United. 4 clean sheets in his 6 games. He might be tested here as it's a searching pass into the centre, and they just about hack it away, but only partly. Oh, look at that for footwork from Cooper, and then frustration taken out in the end by Daniel Amos, who is at the very least going to get a telling off. He's going to get a yellow card as well, and that can hardly come as a surprise to him.
It's brilliant play from Cooper, and it's 2 nutmegs. You know, he has the audacity to do 1 nutmeg, and then the second player comes along, he does it again, draws the foul, and you know, he's that player that you can hear the excitement in the fans when he gets the ball, and that's why, you know, Coleraine pushed the boat out to pay him the big contract, and so far he's had a tremendous start to his Coleraine time. Yeah,
4 goals and 6 appearances for him as well, 2 against Crusaders, and after the late winner that he got against Larne, and then on the score sheet last weekend 2 at Shamrock Park, a player who scooped all the top honours last year and is hoping to have another successful season and help bring success to a club who are hungry for it. And the Bandsiders, lovely turn from Burt. He might take it on himself. And he gave the keeper the eyes, didn't he? I don't think Harris knew what corner that was flying to for a moment, but he was relieved to see it go just wide.
Yeah, it's really positive from Liam Burt. He picks the ball up inside his own half, and he drives at the Coleraine defence, and I think the keeper, if that's on target, the keeper could be in trouble there, but it's really positive from Liam Burt, and he's a player who came on last week against Linfield and really made an impact in the game. He looked positive for Glentoran, and he's been rewarded with a start here tonight, and that was positive play from him.
Spent last season on loan at Shelbourne, played the majority of games in their title-winning season. Big addition for the Glens. The usual mind games in the build-up to this about who is the team under pressure, who has the expectation, but there'll be a lot of people looking at the talent on both sides and believing that both of them should be there or thereabouts when all is said and done.
I think there's no doubt about that. You know, both teams with the squads that they've assembled, they both have title aspirations, and people might have said, maybe it's too soon for Coleraine. It could take a season or two, but looking at the quality that they have, they've got to be looking to really challenge. And so far, on the evidence of their play and the games they've played so far, they've looked really good.
Well, they might be able to keep that alive as well. That's a really good run from Larmour when it looked like the pass was just a little ahead of him initially, but he got into position, kept the ball, and Singleton. It's a good passage of play, this, from Glentoran. Jenkins wants it on his right side, moves it to Burt. The touch was just a little heavy from him, and Palmer opens up. The keeper's lost it, but he gathers again before it can be poked home by Jordan Jenkins, whose eyes lit up for a moment there.
Yeah, again, it's good play in the build-up from Glentoran. They seem to have just settled down a little bit, a few moments in possession of the ball. Jordan Jenkins looks really sharp, a lovely sharp turn there. The ball breaks out to the edge of the box, off Burt, and Cameron Palmer looking to take the shot from distance. The goalkeeper spills it slightly, but it's close enough to him to make the recovery.
Well, Jordan Jenkins is one of the real success stories, you could argue, at Glentoran, given how close he was to not quite making it at the team. But when he got his chance, my goodness, has he taken it?
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant. He's shown that perseverance. He's had to bide his time, and he was a real star for them last season, and he's had a really good start to this season as well.
A bit of off the ball action there, but nothing to vex our referee. As for the first time tonight, the hosts rocket around the back and just try and slow things down a little bit after a scare or two in their direction. It's been a pretty fast-paced 15 minutes.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes has flown by, and good moments for both sides. Obviously the major moment coming for Coleraine, but listen, it's been a decent game so far. Both teams have opted for back threes at times during the season. Glentoran certainly started with the back three. They've gone back to more of a 4-3-3 this season, and both teams really looking to match each other up tonight. And Coleraine have just had the upper hand so far this first 15 minutes, but Glentoran will be well in this game.
And in scoring in the first half, they've done something that they haven't managed to do in the last 9 league meetings between the teams, Coleraine, because up until now that has been something that has been a problem for them, getting an early goal against the Glens, but they've managed it tonight through Cody Lyons-Foster's header.
Yeah, they'll be pleased. An early goal can always settle you down, certainly in a big game like this with the big crowd and the pressure's on, at the top of the table, so that will settle them down and gives them that platform to build upon.
And before tonight, only one first half goal against Glentoran in the last 15 contests, stretching back to December 2021. So gives you an idea. Just a little bit of concern for Jenkins as the way he's holding his knee there would certainly worry one or two. Collision with Lyons-Foster. He might require a bit of treatment here, the Glentoran attacker. Doesn't look too happy at the moment, certainly.
There was the clash of knees between himself and Cody Lyons-Foster. The initial challenge came in from Lyndon Kane, I think, on Jordan Jenkins. There we see the initial challenge, and then there's a little clash then between him and Cody Lyons-Foster.
Don't they, just as he crosses his path?
And that can be such a painful one. Glentoran will be hoping that Jordan Jenkins can recover from this, because he has looked sharp and lively early on in this game, and he was very sharp, particularly in the second half last week against Linfield. He came into the game a lot more, and we've seen the opportunity he had right at the end of the game. He's just looking really lively, sharp and confident.
Yeah, looking at the way the conversation's going, I think he will be okay. It's just that impact injury which is so painful when it happens.
Yeah, it can be painful at the time, and hopefully it's one that he can just manage to run off quickly and get his stride back in this game.
Hardly a surprise that the managers have taken this as an opportunity just to have a chat with one or two players.
Yeah, they'll look at the first 18 minutes or so, how both teams are shaping up, who's maybe getting too much freedom from either side, and can they get closer to the likes of the Coopers and the Patchings, who have had moments in this game, and they'll be looking at it and just also giving instructions of how they can improve and what they can do better. So
Jordan Jenkins looks to be fine, which is good news for Glentoran. waiting the signal to come back on, and no hard feelings clearly between those two either.
Accidental collision, and well, thankfully both guys are good.
Both standing there waiting to get the thumbs up from Stephen Craig as Harris looks to see the movement ahead of him. And I'm not surprised to see him play that short. That tends to be the way they like to go.
Yeah, they're comfortable in possession of the ball. Glentoran are happy to just retreat in and let them have the ball there in that defensive third for Coleraine. They're not causing them any problems there, and I think as they move further up the park, Glentoran will be more aggressive in their pressing.
And McDonald happy, the number 21, to step back into a more comfortable midfield position, having just dropped in to fill the gap momentarily. Side getting up the touchline, getting the throw in and getting on with the throw in. Don't think actually some of the Glentoran players realised that it had been taken so quickly. Ball with Lyndon Keane, and looking inside to Dylan Boyle, always calling for the ball, finding Cooper, and as you can see there's players lining up in the centre, and Mills has been caught there. That's certainly a foul on him by Matthew Shevlin, and despite Lacken putting the ball in the net, it's a free kick to the away side.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about the foul. Cooper looking to just put the ball in to the box, and Shevlin just catches Mills later on. But it's interesting to see when Cooper got the ball there's 2 or 3 Glentoran players over on him, which then means that other Coleraine players can find that freedom, that space. But Cooper's so dangerous, I think Glentoran know they have to at least double up on him at times.
Yeah, just a warning there, and be careful from Stephen Craig. It was a little clumsy from the forwards.
Yeah, a few Glens players asked him, well, is there not a card there? I think he's coming a bit late. The collision, it'll probably be his last warning.
Yeah, the fans behind the goal certainly weren't too pleased with that, but all to be expected. Passions running high in a big game at the top end of the Sports Direct Premiership. Almost at the halfway point in this first half. And Glentoran have responded pretty well since going behind, but still in search of that leveller.
Yeah, they've had a couple of decent efforts from outside the box, and a couple of little periods of possession, which is positive for them.
Ball back with Singleton. Marcus Keane. So he can still keep up with the players around him stepping out from the back. And Burt, anytime he gets the ball, happy to make that run, and that's rather robust exchange between the two. And I think he's maybe caught his leg against the board there as the two wrestled, and so close to the perimeter wall. It does again highlight, you know, any coming together towards those things, very mindful.
Yeah, we see it.
Paul Heatley last week had a really nasty collision.
It's something that, you know, I've listened to Paul Heatley's interview during the week. It's something that can be helped in terms of, it can be a freak injury from something like that happens, but you know the dangers are there. But thankfully Liam Burt's okay. But just about to say there, you know, we've talked about Joel Cooper and obviously his excellence in attacker, but there you see the other side of his game. You know, he's working back, being a team player, and you know the fans love to see that as much as the attacking stuff.
Yeah, he defended it very well. Patching, 2 goals last weekend, a penalty and a Will Patching special, another one for his great collection down through the years, gliding past 3 or 4 players and then sticking it in the top corner.
Yeah, he's obviously a player Rory Higgins knows really well from his time at Derry, and you know, I used to watch some of the games on Friday nights, and a few great free kicks in his repertoire of goals, and last week was up there as well. Some fantastic goal he scored against Portadown. He's a real quality player, and he's been a good signing for Coleraine.
It's an interesting conversation actually, because Higgins was saying that he knows what Will Patching needs and Will Patching knows what he needs, and between them they find a way to kind of make it all come together in a team. Sometimes players just have a manager that can bring the best out of them, and Rory Higgins will be hoping that he is indeed that man once again.
Certainly so far that's been the case.
On loan from Carlisle United, Will Patching. Glentoran with a little spell of possession themselves as Keane Looks for the forward pass. Bangor have gone 1-0 up in the game against Portadown at Shamrock Park. Ben Cushney with the goal there. I'll keep you updated as the night goes on. Same scoreline here, of course, as Coleraine seem quite content, don't they, off the ball, just to stay in their shape and let Glentoran keep it towards the halfway line where they can't hurt them.
Yeah, they're not hurting them from there, and it's positive for Glentoran in terms of they're retaining the ball for longer periods, but Coleraine are happy to sit in there in a nice, compact, disciplined shape, and you know, they're saying to Glentoran, can you come and break us down, and they're happy for them just to have everything in front of them.
Larmour looking a little exasperated there. He acknowledges that was a moment of miscontrol from him as possession is turned over and the home side have the throw in. Don't need to join in the game of charades there. Well, it's opening up. Oh, it's another good save from Mills. Any invitation at all, and Coleraine will take those shots on. They've got plenty of players willing to do just that. McDonald got the little touch to try and get it through. Wouldn't fall. Lyons Foster. And Amos puts it out for a throw-in. Anytime they come forwards, it's posing problems, and there's patching.
It's another decent effort, isn't it? He just breaks through. It's very similar to, we were talking about his goal from last week. It's very similar. He just cuts in from the left-hand side. It opens up for him. He's just trying to bend it into that far corner, and Mills has to go down to his left and make the save again. And, you know, Glentoran don't want to be given the Will Patchings and the Joel Coopers that sort of time and space at the edge of the box.
He's one of those players that has a real languid style about them, and he can make it look very easy at times. That was a clip on the back of the heels. Nice little touch from Burt there to free himself of his marker and earn his team the free kick.
Yeah, it's a lovely little touch from Burt, and he's been really lively for Glentoran so far in this game. He's looked like the bright spark. He's the one that can perhaps create something for Glentoran out of nothing. That was a lovely little touch around the corner. Draws the foul.
Still waiting for his first Glentoran goal, and this is 9th outing for them. But has looked lively tonight. Bounce of the ball almost causing a problem, but quickly tidied up again by Cammy Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer does well, and he's playing in a bit of a deeper role that tonight. There, him in there with James Singleton. Bert's the more advanced of the midfield three there, so that's something that's maybe a bit different for Cammy Palmer. We also know him as an attacking midfielder, but he does well on that occasion.
Hubin. Oh, that might be a sore one for Jenkins, his teammate. Not quite reading the intention there as Coleraine looked to break away. Glacken looking for support. Doesn't have a lot of it.
I thought Jamie Glacken should have continued his run there. He cuts back and allows Cammy Palmer to get back and make the tackle.
Didn't look that comfortable there, did he?
No.
McElhinney enjoying a run of games at the heart of their defence, drawing plenty of plaudits for it too. That's a good cross in, and Harris, just for a moment, his heart skipped a beat.
I think Jordan Jenkins might be a bit disappointed he doesn't get on the end. That's great play from Jordan Stewart. It's a super ball. Look at Jenkins there. He's at full stretch, to be fair to him, but it's a big chance for Glentoran.
Yeah, you're certainly expecting a touch to be made, and if one is, we're talking about 1-1. Glacken said he wasn't moving too comfortably a moment ago. Well, appears to be winded at the moment.
Yeah, I think that, just talking about that chance again, great play from Stewart, and Jordan Jenkins, all he has to do is get the faintest of touches on that ball there, and it could be 1-1. And you know, again, we've spoken about Cooper and Jordan Stewart on the other side for Glentoran. In that 1v1 situation, he's so difficult to defend against. He gets the yard on Lyndon Kane, and he put in a tremendous ball into the box there. It was just begging to be put away.
And those are the little moments in the game, the fine margins. This is the difference between the two sides. Ives' corner, and then that powerful header by Lyons Foster, who, I take it from that celebration, was taking a bit of stick from one or two in the crowd. He offered a little bit back and then some with his goal.
Listen, you know, in football, the fans will they know he came up to Coleraine. There was a better contract on offer, let's just say. It was well documented, and one of Glentoran's players of last season. But you know, he's obviously getting a little bit of stick from the big crowd behind that goal, and you know, he finds a way to silence him there for that moment. But again, you know, it's a great header from Lyons Foster, but you know, he shouldn't be allowed that sort of time and space in the box from the corner kick.
McElhinney reading it well, getting it back to Mills. Let's distribute it quickly again.
Good defending from McElhinney, as you mentioned him earlier, Michael. He's had a good start to the season. Probably someone perhaps people would have thought might not have played every game for Glentoran, but certainly he's been a mainstay so far this season, and they've had a really good defensive record. So you've got to give him and Marcus really good credit for what they've done so far. They've both had great starts to the season.
8 starts in his last 9 now, Shane McElhinney, and played under Higgins at Derry City. Actually left at the same time as the manager, along with his brother. Someone Declan Devine was very keen to work with, and it probably last season was frustrating for him at times, but we've seen a lot more in the first few games of this season why he was brought in and why Declan Devine was so keen to keep his faith in him.
Yeah, listen, Declan will know him better than anybody. He's got bags of experience. He's played around the League of Ireland for years, and you know, we've seen that experience. It's invaluable at times, and we've seen it for Glentoran so far this season. He's formed a really good partnership with Marcus Kane, and had another great game against Linfield last week, and you know, a good partnership so far. And they've got a lot of strength and depth in that area, Glentoran, in the centre half position, but so far they've made the positions their own. Just a little bit of pace has gone out of the game. You know, we're half an hour in. There's really lacked real intensity for the last number of minutes, and you know, hopefully that intensity and the tempo can increase.
Yeah, just a bit of a lull in it, and sometimes teams almost put that in on purpose when you're in front, just to try and take any momentum your opponents might have. But there's always that risk then, and that was a challenge that looked like a foul, I thought, on Stewart. Thought Kane was the wrong side of him, wasn't given, and now the counter-attack is on. It was a lovely pass, weighed it perfectly for Cooper, and he's only one thing in his mind when he cuts in from this side. He was closed down. Patching has it, and again Mills forced into action. He's been a busy man.
Yeah, listen, initially I thought it was a foul for Glentoran, but Coleraine, you know, win possession of the ball, go up the field with Cooper. Marcus Kane does brilliant to defend that Cooper trying to get the shot away, but it breaks to Patching again, and again he takes a touch, finds a space, and it's a really good attempt on goal, on target again, and he's just shown how dangerous he is from that area, and he's had 2 or 3 attempts already in this game, and really showing the threat when he gets into those areas. I'd like to see that incident again. I thought it was a free kick for Glentoran earlier in the move.
Yeah, the warning bells will be going off here for Glentoran, because it was from this side the corner was delivered. That led to the game's only goal so far, and the man that scored it's in there. That was rather clumsy, wasn't it? Bit of pushing and shoving going on. Stephen Gregg is going to just try and calm players down. This was the challenge. There's a hand on him on the tackle from the wrong side, Paul.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get too much of the ball there. Lyndon Kane.
Just watch this as the corner comes in. Glentoran get their head to it this time, and Hubin as well. They're going to leave that run for another corner kick. And yeah, I think on second viewing it did look like a foul.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get a lot of contact on the ball. We're obscured a little bit from one of the players in terms of the full vision of the tackle, but he didn't seem to get a lot of the ball. So for me, it looked like a foul, but it wasn't given. The referee was in a good spot, and you know, Coleraine then turned over possession of the ball and hit Glentoran on the counter, and they looked so dangerous.
Well, a little bit of a conversation going on as to how this set piece will be taken, and I don't think the Glentoran players are the full 10 yards away, which is why Stephen Gregg's gone for a little jog over there. Hasn't had to get his measuring tape out just yet. Again, Coleraine going for that little breakaway pattern in the centre, it's hard to mark because players end up in all sorts of positions, and that's why they're attempting it. And Glentoran haven't quite figured it out yet either.
No, they've got good movement from the set piece there, Coleraine, and they're finding that little bit of space. Just on this occasion, delivery wasn't as good as the one they scored from, but Cody Lyons Foster, I was looking just to see who's picking him up. Daniel Armour's been picking him up on the last number of occasions. I wonder, was he on him, detailed to be on him from the first, the goal where he scored the goal from. So he's shown that he's now got that threat, and they've just got to watch him from those situations.
Well, that was Lyndon Kane at fault there, and the yellow card comes out for the Coleraine skipper.
That's going to make things more difficult for Lyndon. You know, we've mentioned Jordan Stewart already in this game. He comes up against Lyndon Kane in those 1v1 situations. You know, Lyndon's just got to be very careful now, and being on a yellow card. Still a long way to go in this game.
Yeah. 10 minutes plus change in the first half remaining as well.
It's fantastic to see. Look at the crowd tonight at the showground. It's fantastic to see, and really healthy crowd. And Coleraine bringing large numbers, and Glentoran, when they're going well, always bring those numbers.
Yeah, they certainly do. As the delivery from the right-hand side comes in, Jordan Stewart arriving. Seemed to catch Coleraine out. They almost didn't realise he was there for a moment. Glacken heading away. That pass from Cooper maybe just had a little too much on it, and McElhaney had the wherewithal to step away from his man and try and calm things back down again for Glentoran, and he's managed that situation really well.
Yeah, we talked about it a few minutes ago, that experience that he has, and you know, he shows it again there. Just deals with the situation, calms things down, gets Glentoran back in possession of the ball.
Well, how do you think Declan Devine will be feeling so far? Obviously he won't be too thrilled with the scoreline, but has he seen enough of a response from his players, do you think?
Yes, I think so. They've shown that they can cause Coleraine problems. You know, Jordan Stewart has looked lively, Liam Burt has looked lively when he's in possession of the ball. They certainly carry a threat, Glentoran. I think he'll be disappointed with the manner of the goal that they conceded from a set piece. You know, I'm sure it's something they worked on. I'm sure it's something they've looked at all week. So that will be disappointing for him. But Glentoran are very much in this game, and you know, Declan will know that.
In the other game, it's now one apiece, Eamon Fife levelling things up in the 33rd minute at Shamrock Park between Portadown and Bangor.
Another interesting game. You know, it's really tight around the sort of bottom end of the table. We know how tight it is at the top too, but interesting battle around there too, and that's a big game, Portadown tonight.
Well, two teams on 6 points as well, aren't they? Bangor having a game in hand after the game against Carrick Rangers was abandoned. Glentoran looking for their leveller. Glacken happy to hook it further away from goal. How about that for a first touch? Decision's gone against Danny Amos. He did well to control the ball in the first instance, but was quickly smothered.
Yeah, Cooper, we talked about it earlier, he's working hard, you know, in possession of the ball and obviously out of possession there, because Danny Amos is a player who loves to get forward for Glentoran. Technically very, very good, has a great, you know, he's a great crosser of the ball, great delivery of the ball.
My goodness, I think he might have been caught there as he went to sprint away, Cooper, and Kane's going to be called over for a chat. He was nutmegged, and the card comes out for him. And look at this little touch. Takes it through his legs. He's about to put the afterburners on, and he just feels the contact there. Cynics might say he looked up and saw a covering defender stepping across, but either way, he felt that rap on his foot, Paul, and to be fair, he hasn't sprung back up.
No, he's obviously felt it from Marcus Kane there, but it's a tremendous, another little touch, as you say, the little nutmeg on Marcus Kane, and Marcus is at full stretch to try and win the tackle, but you know, Cooper's just got that yard on him, and he's forced to make the foul, picks up a yellow card, and you know, this is a dangerous position for Coleraine now to put another ball into the box on top of Glentoran.
That is what they will be hoping to do. Goals in his last couple of games, 3 and 2 for Cooper, and of course that winning goal against Larne late on as well at the start of the season. He's in the penalty area now. Coleraine, as soon as they get the ball back where they want, will take this free kick, and they know just how important another goal could be to give them a bit of breathing space in this match, because they haven't had it all their own way, and nor would they expect to have it all their own way in a game like this. Patching. Almost a bit of pinball in there. Hacked away, and Boyle will bring it down. And across it comes to Ives. Everybody's moved around a little bit. Shuffled as they deal with that breakaway, but deal with it they did. And Patching. Well, I'll look up the line from Stephen Gregg to see had it crossed the line. Those Glentoran fans are adamant that it did. It's hard to be certain from our vantage point, but the decision has gone the way of Coleraine. I would suggest the referee slightly hedged his bets there, because the assistant official is a lot further away than he was. And Stephen Gregg didn't look too certain for a moment. But anyway, Jarvis with the throw-in. McDonald gets it back to him, and Jarvis has the decision go against him. The ball was out, so it's a throw-in rather than a foul.
He's maybe just leveled it up there, the referee.
Yes, and perhaps a little bit of experience there from Stephen Gregg.
Just took this thing out of the situation.
Yeah. Dylan Boyle. Cooper. And Stewart. Well, he doesn't think he's done much wrong there, but he's had the foul given against him. What do you think? Much in this?
Again, Cooper's just got that ability to go both ways. There's a little collision. Jordan Stewart's just running back to try and get goal side of him, and the collision's there. You know, it's a foul and nothing else.
Always gets himself psyched up, Cooper, doesn't he? He kind of likes to play with that little bit of an edge, and that's what I think we're seeing again here.
You know, every time he's getting in possession of the ball, he looks so dangerous. There's a little breakdown in communication there, and very wasteful from Coleraine there. They found themselves in a good position, and breakdown in communication between. Let's see it here. Patsy's looking to just play it short.
Levi Ives was fixing the socks, was he? I don't know. He doesn't seem to have an idea as to what was happening there. Wouldn't be too often you see Levi Ives pop up on the right wing. And just that momentary lapse. Lost the ball, and it has been a bit like that in this last period. A bit scrappy, and neither side looking just as composed perhaps as they were earlier in the match.
It's an important last few minutes before the half-time, Michael, where Coleraine will want to go in ahead, and can Glentoran get themselves in level. So
yeah, a goal either way could change an awful lot. It's the home side on the attack now. Shevlin thought about the shot, couldn't get turned, has gone to ground, is appealing. And Marcus Kane showing his strength. Jenkins was waiting for the cavalry to arrive, but his options to pass were closed down by Coleraine, so Glentoran switching with the angled pass to Stewart. He's got the better of Kane, he's got the room for the cross, and the ball just wouldn't fall for Glentoran there. The Coleraine fans were asking for a handball, and in fact that's what has been given by our referee.
It's Liam Burt. It's a good play again from Stewart. We see Burt's just trying to get the volley in on goal. It's Singleton, actually. It's Singleton, and it comes off his arm, but I have to say it was brilliant play from Marcus Kane initially, wasn't it? He wins the ball on the edge of the box, drives out of the defence. He's driving his team forward. Fantastic desire from Marcus Kane to get his team up the pitch, and Glentoran almost get the opportunity at the end of it.
This match at 1-0, still very much alive. Harris has had a couple of moments himself where he was under pressure. His clean sheet intact, at least for the time being. Jarvis. Challenge coming in from behind the defender there, gives a free kick away once more to Higgins' team. You have the advantage at the moment, and history points to home advantage in this fixture. In the last 20 Premiership matches between the clubs at the showgrounds, Coleraine have won 10, the Glens just 2 with 8 draws.
Yeah, it's a really good record for them against Glentoran, and we heard Rory Higgins in the build-up in his interview saying he wants to try and make the Coleraine showgrounds a real fortress for anyone who comes there, make them difficult to beat on their home patch. He knows that will be important in terms of winning league titles and winning trophies, so but they've certainly got a good record there against Glentoran.
Well, plenty of goals at Shamrock Park. It's now 2-1 to Bangor. Rhys Neal has put Lee Feeney's side back in front.
Credit to Bangor, you know, so far in the season. I've seen them a couple of times, and they've been really competitive in most games, and you know, they've taken to the league really well, and I'm sure they're really enjoying being back in amongst the big boys.
Yes, 2 wins in their first 6 games, and they were leading last weekend. They're leading at the moment, and don't worry, we'll be showing you those goals at half-time, so you won't be missing out on those. There's the answer to the question you were all thinking at this point. How many minutes added on? 5 is the answer. And that's plenty of time for the scoreline to change. Michael McKenna, our 4th official for this one tonight.
As you say, Michael, the last sort of period of the game has been quite scrappy. And
what do you put that down to?
Listen, it's such a big game, and I think Coleraine are 1-0 up. They're just, at this moment in time, they're just managing the game for me, and they're in there they're sort of picking their opportunities to get the likes of Joel Cooper and Shevlin and the Patchings into the game. So they're not going all for it, all hell for leather. So it'll be interesting to see how things go in the second half, the longer the game progresses. I think we'll maybe see Glentoran coming out in the second half, go behind, taking more chances.
Well, there's a good example of who'd be a referee, because both managers are incensed by the decision here. Declan Devine thinks this is a foul from McDonald.
Yeah, I think McDonald's a little bit late in the challenge there. The referee gets that one right.
Meanwhile, Higgins was saying that he thought play should have been allowed to go on. So
yeah, listen, there wasn't a lot on it. We've seen there's minimal contact, but it's definitely a foul there.
Ball dropping, might be room for a shot. Oh, there is, and it's hit the frame of the goal. Jenkins, he struck that so well, and he nearly caught the keeper out.
It's a good header from Marcus Kane just to keep things going on the edge of the box, and there it falls to Jenkins. And we talked about how sharp he's looked, and there he gets the yard of space. He's looking to put the shot on goal, and almost gets Glentoran level in this game. Great effort.
A let off for Coleraine, but another chance for Glentoran.
I think Glentoran have had enough moments in this first half to be encouraged, you know, for the second half. First half's obviously not over yet. We've still got a couple of minutes to go, but you know, they could have got in there easily level. And as I said before, they're well in this game, Glentoran, but you know, certainly Coleraine, their attacking players have looked really lively when they've got them on the ball.
And that is sometimes nearly the risk. Not that Coleraine were inviting pressure there, but sometimes when you slow it down and play in a more measured approach, not quite attacking to the same way, you end up finding yourself defending more than you want to. I think they've got the quality to just dictate play a bit more than maybe what they're showing us, the Bandsiders, but perhaps credit has to go to Glentoran for not giving them the confidence to just go and do that.
Yeah, it's been such an evenly matched game at times. You know, both teams cancelled each other out very much at times, and both have shown the threats at the top end of the pitch. So, as I said before, it's a really intriguing game, this one.
Well, here he goes again. Jenkins, Stewart behind him, giving him a little call, but Jenkins takes it to the line. It's off the Glentoran attacker last, but he gets it to Amos. It's in towards Hubin. Couldn't get his head on it. Singleton goes down, And he gets the free kick, and this is in a dangerous position. Dean Jarvis just catching the Glentoran man.
I think it's a silly foul for Jarvis to get away, but again, that's where Glentoran want Pat Hooban in the box. Ball's coming into the box, and he can be a threat early for Glentoran in that 6-yard box. They've now got another opportunity with this man, Danny Amos. You know, he's fantastic left foot, chance to put the ball into the box here for Glentoran to perhaps get back in level at half-time.
Yes, the last minute of additional time at the showgrounds, and Glentoran sending players into what is a packed penalty area. They need a good delivery. They didn't manage it. Bird gets the ball now. He's picked a decent pass. Harris can only punch, but the offside flag is up.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery this time from Danny Amos. You know, we know how good he can be from those situations. A minute to go before half time, you're looking at him to put a quality ball in there, and you know the delivery just lets him down.
Well, that'll look at the watch from Stephen Gregg. I think we are on the blow here. Indeed we are. Bang on time from the referee, and so it turns out to be the case. Only one goal between these sides. A big 45 minutes awaiting us, and the one goal scored by former Glentoran defender Cody Lyons Foster. Great header from him, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it was a super header from Cody Lyons Foster, and you know, if anyone knows about his threat from set pieces, it should be Glentoran. He was there last year, so they'll be disappointed giving that goal away early in the game. You know, whoever was detailed to pick him up in the box, you know, you can't give them that, allow him that time and space to get a free header and goal. And it was a tremendous start for Coleraine, and they settled into the game early on really well. They were dictating the play, but credit to Glentoran, they came back into it, you know, after the setback. We see it here. It's a really good header. Just beats Andrew Mills on his near post with the power and the direction of the header. He's really got no chance there. But as I said, Glentoran settled into the game. They had some good moments of their own. Coleraine really showed the threat, in patching, and Joel Cooper really looked lively for them. We know that Shevlin has a great record against Glentoran, but equally for Glentoran, Jordan Stewart has looked really good. Liam Burt has looked good, and that they possess a threat of their own, and it's going to be a really interesting second half.
Well, I mentioned the game at Shamrock Park, 2-1 at half-time in favour of the visitors. Let's bring you those goals, and it was Bangor who went in front via Ben Cushney. Doesn't have to be the prettiest, take them as they come. Deflection took it onto the post, and Cushney the quickest to react, and then Eamon Fife 20 minutes after that goal, seizing on the spilled ball. Bangor were asking for a foul, the whistle never came, and Fife was able to turn it in. And then Rhys Neal, with the captain's armband, produced that free kick.
Fantastic free kick, and Rhys Neal's a player that I really like. I've seen a lot of Bangor, and you know, a real steady player week in, week out for them, and that's a fantastic free kick from a defender.
Fantastic free kick indeed from Rhys Neal. It gives Bangor the half-time lead at Shamrock Park, and at the showgrounds half-time also. The score: Coleraine 1, Glentoran 0. back out for the second half. I've just been watching the referee Stephen Gregg doing keepy uppies. Must be looking for a big move.
Well,
that's where the compliments end, Stephen. We can't be allowing our match officials to get too many in a match. I think there's a quota, isn't there? Coleraine are going to restart proceedings in just a moment. Doesn't appear to be any changes as we prepare for the second half at a packed out showgrounds where the home side have a single goal lead. And the away fans with a customary greeting for a former player there, the man with the only goal of this game. The first half has had certainly moments of action about it where both keepers have been tested. Will there be more life in the respective attacks of both teams going forwards? Glentoran clearly will need to find a way through to try and get back into the game. But what approach will Rory Higgins take, do you think?
yeah, I think the first half there was real moments of quality for both sides, but I think it's probably been, the word I would describe it as, measured from both teams. No, not taking too many risks, let's just say. So Coleraine have got the upper hand, they've got the lead, so they probably don't need to take too many risks as the game goes on. With that lead, they'll be confident in their defensive shape. Glentoran, for me, will be the team that take more risks. Will they make any changes to their lineup? But you know, they'll be looking to bounce back in this game, and they've had their moments, Glentoran, and they're very much in this game.
Striking the post in first half stoppage time, a reminder of how finely poised proceedings are. As Larmour, the former Crusaders man, looks long, looks for Jordan Stewart, not able to find him on that occasion. And Harris plays the pass to McDonald, former Man City youngster, getting his first start tonight. Glenn's putting the squeeze on there.
Sorry, Michael. You just see Glentoran there putting the pressure on, not allowing Coleraine to have any time in the ball in that area of the pitch. Whereas, you know, at times in the first half they were happy to just sit back in.
And there goes Patching, finding Cooper. Shevlin's in the centre. Glacken's arriving also. What can Cooper conjure up? He's trying to walk along a tightrope, and it didn't come off for him this time. Glentoran want to get that man on the ball more. So often when he's found it, though, he's been on the touchline. They need him in more central positions.
Yeah, he's been having to come out wide, and he's having to drop in very deep to get on the ball. Pat Hubin, we haven't seen enough of him. Glentoran haven't seen enough of him for their liking, but you know, there we see what he offers him, you know, that focal point. And I think it was Danny Amos that did brilliantly in defence there and played a lovely ball up to him.
Well, that ball clattered forwards to no avail, all the way through comfortably for Harris, who is in no great rush. Coleraine still yet to concede at home clean sheets in all three here across all competitions, winning 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Glentoran will be hoping the pattern does not continue. That would be most unpalatable, as that poor pass is played and Amos is able to pick up possession. Singleton. There's not a lot of room there, is there? You look anytime someone gets the ball, options are limited. Maybe that'll change now. Stewart. Jenkins, first time Hubin. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't believe he's missed that. A player of his quality will be expecting a goal 99 times out of 100, but somehow he has got poor contact with it and it spoons over the bar.
Yeah, and again, it's brilliant play on the left-hand side from Jordan Stewart. And then Jordan Jenkins puts a brilliant ball into the box, and he's the man you want to be on the end of it there. Pat Hubin, he's in terrific form. We see it here. He just missed times his effort on goal. You know, he's got to let it come down and control it better. And he'll be so disappointed, a player of his quality. He's got to be putting that one away. But it's a real good moment for Glentoran again. it shows. We said they're well in this game. They've shown a threat, and those front three players of Jordan Stewart, Jordan Jenkins and Pat Hooban linking up there on that occasion, but it really should have been a goal.
Oh, lovely Cruyff turn from Cooper, and play opens up now. Glacken.
Oh,
and it was Shevlin with the touch, just taking it beyond the post. And at either end, big chances for goals at the start of this second half.
Yeah, and you know, we said it was more of a measured first half. It's the start of this second half, certainly the last couple of minutes. It's fantastic play. It's that man Cooper again, drifts in off the wing, plays the Glacken. The ball goes out wide and it comes into the box. And it's Matthew Shevlin, and again, we talked about the chance there from Hooban. He's got to put it away. Shevlin will be so disappointed there. For me, he's got to put that one away as well. Great play from both sides and a great start to the second half.
So lively. It's not the main point, but after Hooban missed, he took a swig of juice, and I was trying to work out, was that the goalkeeper's juice? Did he just did he decide he was having that no matter what? I doubt he had a tactical juice just sitting there perfectly up by the goal.
Maybe he asked permission.
Mind you, I'm sure Harris will be in good mood seeing that Hooban had a rare off moment in front of him.
Yeah, but we can hear, you know, that's given the Glentoran crowd encouragement. We hear that they're in full voice at this moment in time. You know, that will give them good encouragement, great confidence that they can penetrate this Coleraine backline.
Well, that little exchange gives us all an indication of perhaps what is to come, as we see Tim McCann looking at the tactics sheet, pondering what might happen in the next 10 minutes or so. Maybe Glentoran, unless they have a little set piece in mind here, but it comes in deep. It's Lyons Foster who gets his head to that. Singleton trying to lift it over the back line, helped on by Hooban. Jenkins gets it in. It's Stewart, and it's rifled in by Jordan Stewart. And just like that, the game is even. The Glens are back in it.
It's a brilliant finish from Jordan Stewart, isn't it? And he's been the most likely for Glentoran. I think he's been brilliant so far in this game. And I think when we see the replay here, it's James Singleton. He just keeps it alive at the edge of the box, puts the ball in. I think Jordan Jenkins is involved, and he tries to get a little effort on goal. But when the ball breaks to Jordan Stewart, it's a fantastic finish. We see it here. James Singleton just keeps it alive, puts it back into the box. Jordan Jenkins just flashes it across. It's a little touch from Jordan Stewart. There's an appeal for a handball and a penalty, but he just continues to play. The ball falls lovely for him, and he gets a fantastic volley across the goalkeeper. No chance there, and Glentoran find themselves right back in this game, and you know, you have to say they would deserve it. They've had good moments in this game. Well, and you know, these two teams so far just showing why they're up at the top of the league.
He recently made his 90th Glentoran appearance. He has just scored his 30th Glentoran goal across both spells. And what a big goal in the context of this match. Coming into the game with just a point between the sides. And 1-1 now we stand, with plenty of time left for either team to go on and claim all 3 points.
Yeah, we did say the second half started really lively, Michael. You know, there were a couple of efforts and goals for both sides. Glentoran now get themselves back into the game early in the second half, and it's really game on. The atmosphere in the stadium's really lifted, and you know, a fantastic game ahead of us, hopefully.
And that goal for Glentoran, the 400th league goal they have scored against Coleraine since 1927. So a bit of a milestone there as well. And those fans are enjoying themselves quite a bit more than they were a few minutes ago. And so are Bangor. 3-1 up now. Liam Hassan with the third goal for the visiting side.
That's a fantastic night so far for Bangor. You know, I think a team like Bangor, their home form is going to be so important to them. So any positive performances and wins or draws they can get on the road, it's going to be great for Bangor. So far, so good for them on the road.
Bangor will be live in the iPlayer next week against Linfield, so you'll want to see how they fare. Linfield in action tomorrow against the league's bottom side, Glenavon, who have yet to pick up a point, and Linfield trying to respond after their first league defeat of the campaign earlier this week at the hands of a former player who's their manager and a former player on the pitch who got the winning goal.
Yeah, every game's got so many little ingredients to it, and that's what makes it so interesting.
And this game made all the more interesting by how the second half has started. Both teams could have scored before Glentoran did, and it's got both managers feeling that bit more exercise. There's been lots of conversations going on. I think Coleraine will look at making a change here in a minute. There's movement on their bench. Declan Devine will take his perch and ponder, and the Bandsiders, as you can see, are ready to make a response with McManus and McGregor, the first two players to come on. Coleraine, I think that was actually really smart defending just to poke it that direction. I'm not convinced there was all that much contact on Burt there, but he's got the decision against Jarvis.
Yeah, it's a little trip, isn't it? So that's another silly one from Jarvis. He's given away a few tonight, and you know, a dangerous area of the field, and another opportunity for Glentoran, who are really on the ascendancy here. Coleraine looking to make a couple of changes because, you know, they can sense that.
I must be getting old. Is waving one of your team's shirts a thing now? I just used to wear one of them. There we are. Cross into the box. Hasn't been dealt with. Shot blocked. Appeals behind the goal, but not on the pitch, and that usually tells you all you need to know. Kane. Closed down. One Kane on another. And that'll be a corner. Glentoran trying to seize the impetus in this match.
Yeah, it's Marcus Kane. The ball just falls nicely for him on the volley, and it's just blocked in front of goal, and he does well to win the corner.
And in it comes. Into the air by McDonald. Marcus Kane on the end of everything at the moment. Wants the ball back. Oh, how about that? And Stewart.
Oh.
Well, if that had gone in, it would have been one of the finest goals you've seen, because the angle was ridiculously narrow. But that tells you just how confident he is feeling.
I was just about to say, it's a player so high in confidence the way this game has gone for him. We'll see it again here. The simple thing to do is just play it back to Marcus Kane there, but no, the little nutmeg. And as you say, he's not looking to cross it, he's looking to go a shot on goal, and it wasn't too far away.
Shevlin and McDonald make way for McManus and McGregor. So two very capable options on McGregor, who joined in the summer on a 2.5-year deal from Airdrie, the former Greenock Morton man. And McManus, who teed up Cooper's winner last month, and who is a player who's already scored against Glentoran, scored a late penalty against them back in April.
Yeah, McManus, someone with possesses a lot of pace in that front line. You know, wasn't one of Shevlin's good. Wasn't a great night for Shevlin. Let's just say the two centre halves marshalled them really well, and Kane and McElhenney. So Coleraine will be hoping McManus can make an impact.
The momentum has shifted since the goal. A galvanised Glentoran are galloping, and Stewart is starting to strut his stuff. It's a lovely ball across the face of goal where Hubin had peeled away, but Harris had the situation well read.
Yeah, Jordan Stewart's been brilliant, hasn't he? We talked about it earlier, his confidence is up, but every time he gets the ball, he's making things happen. And Jordan Jenkins, who I prefer when he plays in a front two. They're playing more of a front three, and he's out wide in the left, but he's been so effective in that area. Some lovely balls into the box, and almost gets another one in on that occasion.
Jordan Stewart hadn't started the last 3 games, but back in tonight and back among the goals. His first goal away from the Oval since his return to the club. Dives. It's a smart pass inside to the substitute McManus. Coleraine pulled back. It's popped up in front of Glacken, and McManus was off balance, and Mills doing the right thing there, just waiting to see where it dropped. Didn't want to leave it to his defender. Took charge, as all good goalkeepers do.
Yeah, the goalkeeper does well in the end. Ball just wouldn't break for Coleraine on the edge of the box, or it just wouldn't come down for someone to get the effort on goal. It's a bit scrappy.
Well, the Scouser Andrew Mills has certainly become a popular figure. When we think back to the diving saves he made in the first half, it only goes to point to the importance of having a good goalkeeper, because that has in part helped Glentoran keep the score down at times in this game and then have the chance to go and get their goal. They have had chances as well, not to miscommunicate that point, but Mills made important saves at important times.
Yeah, he did. He made 2 or 3 really good saves that he's expected to make, but he does well with them. Keeps Glentoran just at 1-0 behind at an important time in the game.
Well, temper's starting to fray somewhat, as one might expect, because it's such a big game and there's lots of passionate people involved in it. This was the challenge that has drawn a few opinions. It's a foul, and maybe because Lyndon Kane's already on a yellow card, he was getting a little nervous.
Listen, teams don't want to get any advantage that they can get, and Glentoran know that Lyndon Kane's already on a yellow card, and it's certainly a foul. And people will say you've seen yellows given for fouls like that, so that's why the Glentoran bench are incensed. But Kane's just got to be really careful, and Jordan Stewart's really on top of his game, so it's a difficult one for him.
Well, there's been a lot made of, and I think rightly so, just how many yellow cards have been produced for things this season. It feels like the threshold has been lowered for bookings. I think a lot of people will be quite happy to see Stephen Gregg keep his cards in his pocket. He has produced 3 yellow cards, but he hasn't been handing them out for fun.
Yeah, I think on that occasion he just gets it right. It's a foul. Yes, there's no doubt about that. You can probably say he's taken out the momentum from the attack as well. That's why Glentoran are so incensed. But from the point of view of we want to see a better game, 11v11 is always better for that. And the game is finally poised now. It's been a really good second half.
Burt just taking a moment there. It's a bit of a stinger. You get that contact, shoots up your leg. I think he'll pop back up in no time. And Lyons Foster, it's a bit early for Panto's season, but he was behind him.
Takes a little chance there, doesn't he? And Jordan Jenkins also takes a chance to try and get on the end of it. And Lyons Foster, no margin for error there.
Well, the subs being made told a story in itself that the home team weren't feeling too happy, but they still haven't got the same swagger about them at the moment.
Yeah, as I say, I think it was Matthew Shevlin had a quiet game, and someone they'll be looking more out of. They've brought on McGregor, who's someone who I haven't really seen much of, but by all accounts he has tremendous pace. He'll stay wide, and he'll be looking to put balls into the box for McManus. I think Glentoran have got the grips with that midfield area, and Patching was really dictating the game, and he hasn't had as much joy in the second half.
Larmour and Stewart just not on the same wavelength there. Marcus Kane's had a really good game, hasn't he? You just saw the composure again on that side. A little touch, and there's a flick on to find Amos. Hubin was looking for his way in. Change is going to be made here. Maybe not just yet. Stephen Gregg was pointing over to the bench. Yeah, they are being made now. Here we go. So the change will see Cameron Stewart come on, and it's going to be Lyndon Kane, and I think that tells you all you need to know on a booking, Paul.
Yeah, he's really walking a tightrope, and it's a sensible substitution, let's say, with the way this game's going. It's on a knife edge, and the way Lyndon Kane plays, he plays on the edge. He's not going to shirk any challenges, and that's a sensible substitution for Coleraine.
Well, on with instructions as well as they defend this corner kick. And it looked like every player in the box was looking at each other, and the ball ends up floating all the way over.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery, or perhaps someone's supposed to make that back post run and doesn't do it, but it's a poor delivery there from a decent chance to put a ball into the box.
So the throw in for the home side. Who have responded to conceding by dipping to the bench. Glentoran for the time being haven't decided to do that.
No, I think certainly in the second half, Glentoran have been the better side. Started really brightly, so it's as you were for them.
Well, they're looking in again and starting to get a bit of change on that side, aren't they? Getting room down their left and getting crosses.
I did say, Jordan Jenkins in that position, he's been really effective and he's had a lot of joy. He's getting into some good positions, and when he's got in there, he's put some quality balls into the box as well. We've seen the big chance that Pat Hooban had. That came from the play down the left-hand side from Jordan Jenkins. So, he's had another good game, and that's the thing about Jordan Jenkins. No matter where, Glentoran decide to play him, whether it's wide in the front three or through the middle, he'll do a job for them. He gives everything, and he works tremendously hard, and he's getting his rewards for that.
Ball back with Mills. Flicked on by Stewart, and Ives. Quick feet from Levi Ives, and he needed them. He was looking for somewhat of an adventurous pass there, which hasn't worked out for him.
No, Coleraine are just turning the ball over too easily the last number of minutes, whereas in the first half they were keeping the ball better, retaining possession better. So that's something they'll need to improve on.
Ball drops into the centre, and that looked like it might have been the arm of Larmour, who has pulled up. Is it just a little bit of cramp as he tried his best to lean forward onto that ball? I do think it comes off his right arm, but is he going to be okay to continue? We'll see. I don't think too many were expecting him to be the one bursting in at the back post.
Yeah, that was my thinking, Michael. What's Dan Larmour doing so far up the pitch there on that occasion? You see where Jordan Stewart is at the bottom of your picture. He's the attacking player. Dan's looking to get in on the end of that. Almost does it, but it looks like he's maybe strained it, possibly the hamstring. We see here, this is Cooney coming on for him. Yeah, that's a blow for Glentoran, but Cooney's perhaps someone in that right back position who can probably do more from an attacking point of view. He'll probably give them more in the attack, whereas Dan Larmour is more of an out-and-out defender for me. Very capable player. Very
capable player, over 250 appearances in English football as well. Former Crew defender Ryan Cooney. And Coleraine with something different to deal with in terms of Glentoran's right flank now, because he does like to get forwards, and he's more of a natural right back.
Yeah.
Daniel Larmour we associate with centre back, don't we, more so?
He is, so it'll be interesting to see how Cooney can impact this game and get himself as much forward as possible. But
well, Stewart has it. The flag stays down.
Oh, what a finish.
And he puts the visitors in front. And Colerane's lead is not only gone, but overturned. And Stewart has been superb in this second half. They haven't been able to live with him. Coleraine 1, Glentoran 2.
Yeah, and listen, it's been coming for Glentoran. They've been the better side in the second half. They've really come out with a bit between their teeth, and that man Jordan Stewart has been unbelievable in the second half. It's really poor from Cody Lance-Foster. I have to say, it's shocking defending from him. He's just got to go and head that. Doesn't deal with it, but Jordan Stewart's alive to the situation, and once he gets in there, he looks at where the goalkeeper is. He goes for the power and the precision at the near post. No chance for the goalkeeper. 2-1 Glentoran, and well deserved.
Well, the celebration shows you just how much it means to him as well. He is someone who Probably eyebrows were raised when he made the move back to Glentoran. What would this mean? How would it go down? Well, nights like this show you the sort of player he can be, a real talisman.
He's a player who can get you on the edge of your seat the way Cooper is for Coleraine, and the only way Jordan Stewart can answer those criticisms and those question marks is by putting in the sort of performances that he's putting in tonight and that he's done so far in this season, and credit to the lad. You know, that was a fantastic goal again from him.
Well, even times last season watching him playing at Seaview, he still has that ability to make you want to watch a football game. So exciting when he's on the ball and terrifying to try and defend against.
Yeah, I think, you know, his time at Seaview last year was probably a bit stop-start. He picked up a lot of injuries, didn't really gain any momentum, whereas, you know, he's here at Glentoran. The full-time football perhaps might suit him there at Glentoran again, where he didn't have that last season. Better chance to recover and stuff from that, but certainly he looks to be enjoying his football. He's on top of his game, and you know, he's made a massive impact here tonight. Can Coleraine respond now?
Well, that is the gauntlet laid down to them. These two sides, remember, unbeaten coming into this game, and we wondered who would be able to hold on to that record.
Yeah, we did say that this is going to be the biggest test for both of these sides, two unbeaten records, and Coleraine started the game really strongly, looked the more likely, but Glentoran grew into it, and in the second half they've really come out and they've been excellent in this second half, and we haven't seen enough of Coleraine's, you know, danger men, the Patchings, the Coopers. Jamie Glacken's been very quiet for me, you know, so they've got to find a way to try and get these guys into the game and try and create a few opportunities for themselves.
And if you were to run through the results that have taken them to this point in the campaign, you would say that there have been more examples of impressive performances and scorelines in favour of Coleraine than Glentoran, who have worked through very professional performances but haven't had the same maybe flair about them. But if they're able to pull this off, it would be a huge statement from them, you feel, against the team who have had everybody purring.
Yeah, it really would be, and as I say, the pattern looked in the first half as if it was going to be that way at Coleraine, but Glentoran in the second half have been much the better side. They've been good value for their 2-1 lead, and their tails are really up, and you know, it's now up to Coleraine. You know, let's see how they can respond in this last 20 minutes or so in this game.
Well, Jenkins thought he'd snuck through. Boyle has been brought down by Stewart, and very straightforward decision for the referee. As things stand, for those of you who like a live league table, Glentoran would move on to 20 points, Larne second on 16. They play tomorrow against Carrick Rangers at Inver Park. Coleraine would stay on 16. So there would be 4 points between the two teams, but crucially Coleraine would still have a game in hand. That is if Glentoran win this game, and it's still an if.
Yeah, listen, and Glentoran know it. Coleraine have got, we talked about all those quality players that have maybe gone quiet for the last period, but Glentoran know that at any given moment the Coopers and McManus and those type of players can create something out of nothing, and they've just got to be very wary of that.
That was a rogue arm from Stewart there.
Yeah, he takes a sore one there, Jordan Stewart, but you know, he's just gets on with the game, and say he's been excellent for Glentoran tonight as well.
Amos standing over the free kick. Looking to the edge of the area. The shot comes through from Burt, and it forced a diving save from Harris. Well, he's getting closer to his first goal, isn't he?
Yeah, really decent effort again. It's just a ball lofted on the edge of the box. It's cleared down from Stewart, and he does wait really well, Liam Burt, just to take the touch and control the shot and keep it low and on target. And you know, the keeper's at full stretch there to keep it out.
Glentoran got the better of the Bandsiders last season, won the last two meetings home and away. Did lose here back in October of last year, and the other fixture was a draw, but that man not showing any signs of being the manager who's in front at the moment. He always seems to go through every emotion. Yeah, Declan Devine.
He's kicking every ball. I have to say, I love Declan Devine's passion on the touchline.
The fourth official doesn't, Paul.
No, listen, but between him and Tim McCann, there's Elliot Morris getting involved too. We don't know what they're arguing about here. We've missed something there, but
yeah, well, you have to be careful with that as well, because you can get cautioned for your bench emptying in such a fashion, as sort of pedantic as that might sound.
Someone's down injured, maybe at the other end of the field. But no, listen, they're going to show passion. It's a big game. They know what's at stake here, and you know there's nothing wrong with showing a bit of passion. It's Mills has got the injury.
I would suggest that that's a tactical stop as much as anything. Goalkeepers going down is something we've seen more and more of in recent years in football, just to allow a chance of things to be slowed down or people to have a chat. I imagine as soon as the message is communicated, he'll jump back to his feet, Paul.
Yeah, I think Glentoran have got the goal lead now, and it's up to Cole. They won't want Coleraine to get any momentum in this last period of the game, so perhaps it is a little tactical. There's Jamie Glacken has been taken off. Someone who Coleraine would probably have hoped have impacted the game more. It's a quiet night for his standards.
Yeah, and Dane Jarvis going off as well. So it's Zena Coro, the player on loan from Lincoln City, who has come off the bench once again for the Bandsetters, and Ronan Doherty, the former Stute and Cliftonville player, introduced as they try and get a foothold on the ball. They've really struggled to do it.
They have, and that's something Ronan Doherty can bring to the side in this last period of the game. He's someone who can get on the ball and sort of let Coleraine dictate the play again, which they were doing for spells in the first half. So I think for them, it's key now. You're coming into the last 15 minutes of the game, and they've got to try and get a foothold back in it and try and create something of their own.
Three goals so far. Who sees a fourth in the future in this match? Right, nothing off at this stage. Very entertaining second half at the showgrounds. Maybe not so much if you are a Coleraine fan, having seen your lead disappear. Challenge from Stewart. A little rambunctious.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful. He's making a challenge from behind. Boys just looking to get the pass away, and Jordan Stewart's coming in from the angle and makes the foul and picks up the yellow card. I don't think he's given the referee any choice there. And again, Jordan Stewart, he's been superb in this game, but he's just got to keep his head on those occasions as well. In this last 15 minutes or so, he's so important to Glentoran in this game.
Second substitution coming for the visitors. Josh Kelly, we can see, getting ready to come on. It's going to be Jordan Jenkins who makes way. Might be a little bit of a change in shape as well.
Yeah,
then
could be a change in shape for Glentoran. Jordan Jenkins has put in, we mentioned it earlier, he's put in a tremendous effort. Fresh legs, but Josh Kelly, more of a defensive minded player. Glentoran with that in mind, trying to maybe hold on to what they have. A little tweak in the shape, and Josh Kelly just coming in there to sit in front of the back four.
Saying that, he designs on being a goal scorer now, doesn't he? He scored a few weeks ago at Seaview, got his first goal for the club after everything he's been through as well. And he could so easily have had a second goal, couldn't he, the week after?
Yeah, the player came through a long-term injury, and Glentoran showing faith in him, giving him another year, and he's had a good start to the season.
And a new number on his back as well. Always a vote of confidence when you're a number between 1 and 11.
Yeah, I think Liam Birch just coming onto that left-hand position where Jordan Jenkins was playing, and then Josh Kelly comes into the central position, gives him that strength in there.
That pushes Palmer up potentially then.
Yeah, Palmer, who was playing in the deeper role, he can push on, but I think for Glentoran, I don't want to say it, but you might see them just sitting a little bit deeper here in this last period of the game.
And then the question is, can Coleraine find a way through that? They will be so desperate to do just that and hold on to their unbeaten records, but trailing at the moment at home after such a wait to get back in front of their fans in a league game. I don't want the gap between these sides to be 4 points at the end of it. There's still a long way to go, of course, in the title race. And in fairness, I think back to the 2021 season, I nearly forgot it until I was looking back through notes. When they finished second that season, they lost 5 of their first 8 matches. So teams can have amazing starts and go nowhere. Teams can have terrible starts and go very close. So it's always worth bearing that in mind.
Yeah, listen, it's a long season. You know, it's an old cliche, but it's a very long season, and you can't get carried away with whatever run you're on, whether it be good or bad. And see there, it's a poor challenge from Liam Burt that time, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been cautioned for that.
Yeah, it's a poor challenge. It's a sore one for Stuart. And I think, you know, just looking at their Coleraine just having a little period there with more of the ball, but Glentoran have got a really nice shape there, and they're not really allowing them to penetrate through, get balls into the front man, and it's been more comfortable for Glentoran in the second half, and they'll be hoping that continues in this last, 10 minutes or more that we have in the game. Coleraine need to find more ways.
Will they be able to do it? 10 minutes left in this match, a big 10 minutes for both sides. Pat Hooban back defending. In comes the delivery. Kelly it is who gets his head to it. Okoro forced wide. Loose on the ball there. Stolen away from him rather cheaply. And Cooney nearly sending Glentoran away.
Again, Glentoran do well. They get bodies behind the ball. They get pressure on the ball. And they find themselves on the counter and get themselves back up the pitch. So they've dealt with everything really so far in the second half. Coleraine have thrown at them, let's just say. But I think from Coleraine, they've got to take more risks now. They've got to take chances. They need to get Cooper on the ball again.
Ball arrives with Palmer. Stewart chasing a hat-trick, of course, lurking in the centre. Won't get a chance to do it there as the ball crosses the line. And just getting word that it's now 4-1 to Bangor, and Mark Hockey with what will be his first goal for the club. He thought he scored against Dungannon Swifts the other week, but that was an own goal in the end. This one, unless a dubious goals panel step in again, will be his.
Credit to Bangor. It's going to end up being a fantastic win on the road for them. Full credit to them.
Portadown losing by the same scoreline they were beaten last week at the hands of Coleraine. That'll be a sore one for Niall Curry's side, but for Lee Feeney, what a result. We'll show you all the goals upon the conclusion of this game, as well as recapping the action here. Ball inside from Doherty, too easily read. Glentoran are just falling a little deeper now. Could feel like a long time to sit in. They need to be careful with that. Okoro shimmying. The rebound not landing to anybody in blue and white. The home side trying to ask more questions, trying to get the ball into the box. Patching, plays it off. Mills makes the save. Okoro, and that's blocked and cleared, and Glentoran have been fouled. They'll get the free kick, and they were living a bit of a charmed life there, the visitors.
It's a good opportunity for Coleraine. Mills does well to make the save, but there we see that threat. Coleraine have really not been in the second half. They find those little spaces in between the lines, and there's lovely build-up play.
Patching to McManus, and then Okoro's rebound blocked by Cooney before he was fouled. And there was actually slightly shades of David Luiz. I was having a laugh there because it was stay down. Actually, no, you're fine, get up.
Yeah, but I think McManus, when he gets into that position, a striker of his quality, I think he's got to be trying to produce a better finish. He gets it on target. It's a comfortable save from Mills, but it's certainly a big chance for Coleraine. It's another warning.
And the shot coming in, charged down. Well, things could really stretch now, because obviously Coleraine need another goal, and they've been sloppy there. And Ives does so well covering. Lyons Foster has had a difficult spell in the second half, hasn't he? And again there, doesn't get the contact that he wants. He's only coming back from injury, so mindful of that. But it ends up falling for Houben, and Ives has to be across and has to be strong.
Yeah, I think it's another basic mistake from Cody Lansfoster, coming back from injury or not. He's got to do better there. He should have done better for the goal, but Levi Ives is alive to it. Pat Houben, that's where Glentoran want to see him in the box. So dangerous, but Ives does brilliantly to get the block.
Corner delivered in off a Coleraine head and behind again. Singleton trying to rally the travelling faithful.
Such a popular player for Glentoran, James Singleton. He went out, if you remember last season, he went out injured at a key stage of the season, and I think he was a massive loss for Glentoran. He's back in again fit, and he's shown how important he is for the team.
And that's a very valid point as well. Sometimes people don't realise the importance of a player until you take them out of a side. Glentoran in front with 5 minutes to go. Corner dealt with. Cooper trying to bomb clear, and unlike him, takes a heavy touch. Palmer able to find Houben, who had his
great centre forward play, isn't it?
Taken away from him there by Ives. Really good centre forward play.
It really is. You know, he's aware of where Levi Ives is, uses his body well, draws the foul, eases the pressure on his team, gets him back up the park, using all his experience.
Time ticking away. Points not secure yet. Amos looking for Cooney, and Cooney can only offer an apology there, not able to bring it under his control. Well, the home fans who made so much noise in the first half are feeling frustrated as time counts down now towards the end of the second. Ives did really well to dig that out. It was an awkward height to try and volley. Again dealt with by Marcus Kane. How many times have I said that tonight?
He's been superb tonight. He really has. He's been superb so far this season.
Patching, trying to provide that spark, that moment of inspiration that Coleraine have been lacking since play resumed after the interval. Doherty to Boyle. Now Stewart. And the look in Joel Cooper's face really says everything, and he almost apologises for the frustration he's feeling, but I never blame a player for being a bad loser, because who wants to lose? You certainly don't.
And it's happened on a few occasions in the second half. We've seen some loose passes from Coleraine, and it just kills the momentum in the attack, and Cooper was in a 1v1 situation there.
Here comes the birthday boy. 21 today, Johnny Russell. 70th appearance for Glentoran. And Liam Burton, no great rush to come off, but taking the applause from the away fans for a very good shift that he put in.
Yeah, he impressed again tonight. Liam Burton showed some real glimpses of quality and class. But what I liked, in the second half as well, when Glentoran have got ahead, the work rate, out of possession of the ball, to win the ball back and to work hard for your team, he's been really good. Johnny Russell just slotted into that left back position, and Danny Amos has got that flexibility just to push further forward in this last few minutes of this game, and Glentoran have just got to manage this through now.
Just over 90 seconds left of normal time, plus whatever our officials add on at the showgrounds. A result that, if it comes to pass, will move them 4 points clear ahead of the next closest teams, ahead of tomorrow's action. Larne with an opportunity to reduce that down to 1 point again. knives. That is, of course, unless there is another goal left in this game. Coleraine, have they anything left in the tank? Doherty, McManus couldn't bring it down. Coro beaten in the air. Throw in to Coleraine, taken quickly. Both benches looking on now, knowing there's not much more they can really do. And they were thinking about the long ball and then went against it. Lucky that the ball has stayed with them. Boyle. Glentoran with bodies back. And the fresh legs of Russell doing really well there. Good endeavour to win his challenge. Stand his ground, and Lyons Foster hooks away from Hubin. Palmer, not the direction he was wanting to go. That's all a bit scrappy. You take a touch, we take a touch. And just like we had in the first half, we will have 5 additional minutes in the second half.
You see there again, Glentoran working tremendously hard when Coleraine get the ball, just to get bodies back behind it, to double up on Joel Cooper, not to allow many opportunities.
Well, Doherty is offside. And you see how that's met by Andrew Mills. I think that's a hug with a little instruction as well. Gentle feedback from the keeper.
Yeah, he appreciates the work of Cooney and getting back in there, and you know, it just allows Glentoran to take the sting out of the game again, waste a few more valuable seconds. You know, they know how big of a result this would be for them, and you know that the attitude and the work rate of the players has been phenomenal for Glentoran, particularly in the second half.
And ball appeals waved away there against Kelly. Palmer somehow got himself back on the ball after going to ground. Ronan Doherty showing the sort of silky skills that have drawn him so many admirers down through the years. Glentoran trying to put the icing on the cake here. Hubin was waiting and waiting. I think by the time that ball was played he would have been offside, but he was doing all he could. Higgins turning himself quickly into a ball boy, wants to keep his team going here. They don't have time to waste. And they've got a free kick. Russell with the foul on Cooper, and Glentoran will want to make sure that they don't rue any decisions they make in these closing minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think it's all about concentration now for Glentoran from the set piece.
Sent in deep, headed down by Stewart. Away by Hubin. And watched all the way by Boyle. Half of the 5 minutes are gone. Now have to play it forwards, and it's going to be the keeper, Mills, who will gobble that one up, and in doing so take away more valuable time. We know he can't hold on to it for too long, for fear of conceding a corner. Hasn't happened in the game I've done yet, that new law change, but no. I'm waiting for it. It's got them all acting faster anyway. McGregor, Okoro switches feet, off the line, patching, takes a moment. Lyons Foster misses the ball. Oh my goodness. Well, at half-time it looked like he could be the hero in this game. He had a chance to salvage something here, and he's not taking it. They were trying to pass it into the net. How many opportunities do they want?
It's a massive opportunity, isn't it? They've just overdone it. It's maybe fallen to the wrong man and Lyons Foster there in terms of coming back across the goal, but
well, the free kick's been given. They had a little think about it for a moment. The assistant signalling to the referee. And this could end up being the last chance of the game. And Glentoran, not for the first time, had a body on the line to make the block.
Yeah, listen, they've defended when they've had to. Coleraine will wonder how they haven't scored there, but credit to Glentoran for getting bodies back behind the ball. And I think, this could be the last opportunity for Coleraine and Glentoran. For them, they've got to concentrate, get tight in their men, not allow anybody any space from this delivery.
Last chance saloon for the Boundsiders. Ives with the delivery. Marcus Keane where he needs to be. The captain clearing it, but it will be a corner. The pressure's kept on. The concentration needs to be kept from both teams. Coleraine are doing everything in their power to try and get back on level terms, to salvage a draw. It's another ball in. The keeper's missed it. And it's bouncing out to Patching. That's a fine ball in, and it's off a Coleraine head and behind. And that should be the win sealed now for the Glens. It was just too high for Stewart to get over, and that is the full-time whistle. And Glentoran remain unbeaten, getting the better of Coleraine, the first side to beat the Boundsiders this season, and doing it at the showgrounds, having to come from behind. Jordan Stewart proving his quality with 2 goals in the second half. After Lyons Foster had put Coleraine in front, and Paul Lehman, we were treated to a very good second half and a very nervy end to it.
Yeah, listen, the second half, Glentoran came out and they had a different attitude about them. They started to press Coleraine a little bit higher, and they got their rewards from that. And Jordan Stewart really took the game by the scruff of the neck, didn't he? He was creative. He scored the 2 goals for Glentoran. He was terrific in the game, probably the man of the match. And I think in the second half, on reflection, Glentoran, the better team, probably deserved it overall, but they certainly rode their luck there at the very end, and putting bodies on the line. But I have to say, I've been critical of Glentoran at times over seasons, but there's a real energy and a real desire and a real work rate and hunger about this team at this moment in time. It was there for everyone to see tonight. They're working hard as a team. It's a massive statement win for Glentoran, and I think the key thing for them now is, don't get carried away. Just keep doing all the good things that you're doing.
Yeah, leave that to supporters, who will always savour these moments. But the players went and got the job done under trying circumstances against a team that have absolutely, in Coleraine, deserved all the plaudits that they have received up to now. And at half-time, they deserved their lead, but the second half, I'm sure their manager's going to be disappointed, because it wasn't the same level that we have come to see from them, is it?
It wasn't, and we've seen the quality of Will Patching at the very end there. He almost creates 2 opportunities for them. We didn't see enough of him, and Joel Cooper and Matthew Shevlin went out of the game, and Glackham went out of the game. We didn't see enough of them in the second half. They weren't creative enough for Coleraine. And listen, let's not take anything away from Glentoran. I thought defensively they were superb. Their shape, their setup was superb, so give them credit for nullifying that threat from Coleraine. But really, for Coleraine, to be free-flowing and to score those goals that they've been scoring, they need to get those guys on the ball. They didn't do enough of that in the second half. Glentoran were able to get their attacking players more on the ball in the second half. Jordan Stewart really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, and he turned out to be the match winner.
And to come into a game like this away to Coleraine and only concede the 1 goal as well, when you look at the riches of attacking talent that they're coming up against, we're seeing a few teams with good defences, but this Glentoran team are one of those sides.
Yeah, they've been brilliant in defence, and
is it experience, Paul? Do you think it's the difference?
The experience is in there. You look at their back, the 2 centre halves. I don't want to be disrespectful to them. There's not a lot of pace in there, but they're using all that experience. They've got the players working really hard in front of them as well. The more solid unit, Glentoran. The goalkeeper has been a big plus for them as well. Losing Daniel Jolai, you thought to yourself, is Andrew Mills going to step up? He has certainly stepped up. So all in all, they look a really more solid unit, Glentoran. Marcus Keane was outstanding again tonight, and it's a massive win for them. And they go into next week. I think they've got Larne next week. It's another huge game for Glentoran. But this is a fantastic win, which will give them tremendous confidence and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, it's an interesting couple of weeks, isn't it? At home to Larne in the league, then away to Cliftonville. They've got a cup game away to Stewart. They're away to the Swifts in the league, and the County Antrim Shield against Carrick Rangers as well. for the Bandsiders. Their next league outing will be once again at the showgrounds against Carrick Rangers. Let's recap the goals from the game, and feels like a long time ago now, but that was the game's first goal on the 8th minute against his old side. Lyons Foster being given the freedom of Coleraine to head in.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Dan Larmour was picking him up. He just loses him for that split second, allows him the couple of yards of space, and it's a good header from Lyons Foster.
Marcus Kane challenging with Lyons Foster there. It was helped back in. It arrived to Jenkins, and the ball falling for Stewart, who blasted it into the roof of the goal.
Yeah, it's a brilliant finish from Stewart, and you know, James Singleton does really well just to keep it alive at the edge of the box. It's a little flick from Houben to Jenkins. Jenkins across the goal. Jordan Stewart, he's so sharp. It's a snapshot across the goalkeeper, gives him no chance, and at that stage of the game, the Glens, it was thoroughly deserved for them to get back level, and Jordan Stewart just seemed to grow in confidence after that first goal.
Yeah, that first goal coming 7 minutes after the second half kicked off, and then this one lashing it beyond Harris, and when he gets in behind defenders, you know there's only one thing in his mind, and
yeah,
he showed his quality there.
It's a fantastic finish. I think he maybe be looking, the goalkeepers maybe be looking him to go to the far corner. He goes at the near post. Tremendous finish from Jordan Stewart. This is the time where, you know, you're looking at Will Patching to maybe take the finish on there. He tries to set it up for Cody Lyons Foster. The chance goes a begging for Coleraine, and you know, it was right at the end of the game that would have salvaged the point for him. I don't think he had any confidence in his left foot there, Patching. Doesn't fall for Lyons Foster, and Glentoran managed to hang on, and it's a huge win for them, and you know, they're in a great place at this moment in time, but they've just got to keep doing what they're doing, keep working hard.
And it was a good night for the away sides. Bangor with a resounding win at the end at Shamrock Park, 4-1 for Lee Feeney's team. 9 points already in this campaign for Bangor, which is some going.
It's really positive. We talked about it earlier. Their home form's going to be so important, so for them to pick up 3 on the road tonight, and that'll give them great encouragement, and they've had a really positive start to the life back in the Premiership.
And there's the games taking place tomorrow as Linfield look to bounce back from Tuesday's loss when they take on strugglers Glenavon, yet to pick up a point after 7 attempts, and Larne hosting Carrick Rangers. They will have watched this game. They'll know what they need to do to keep in touching distance of the league leaders Glentoran. Dungannon Swifts hosting Cliftonville, and Crusaders welcoming Ballymena United. Every one of those games, I think, has an interesting story in it, and you'll be able to hear it all on Sports Sound coverage beginning at 2 o'clock on BBC Radio Ulster and on BBC Sounds. But full time here at the showgrounds, and it's Glentoran whose unbeaten record is still standing. But don't go anywhere, because we can bring you the goals from Shamrock Park. And this is how it all unfolded, with Bangor going in front via Ben Cushney after this shot took a deflection onto the post. The defenders were looking across the line. Cushney was looking at the ball and then celebrating his goal. Portadown got themselves back into the game after the ball was dropped by Gareth Dean and turned in by Eamon Fife. And then on the 30th minute, this happened. Step up, Rhys Neal. Classy free kick evading the wall. And then in the second half, they were to extend their lead. Winning the ball back off the Portadown defence. Hassan shifting onto his left foot and bending beyond McCarry. And Mark Hockey with the trademark Mark Hockey header.
What a header that is.
Time stands still for that man. And Bangor bag a brilliant win on the road. An eventful night in the Sports Direct Premiership. I hope you'll join us for our radio coverage again tomorrow. It was quite the game, and Glentoran are now the last team standing in terms of that much wanted unbeaten record. They have come out on top against the Bandsiders at the showgrounds, where it has finished Coleraine 1, Glentoran 2. Night night.